sports fans. This is Robert with WTP Sports Dudes here live on this holiday eve. If you're into that, I just wanted to jump on real quick because I've been watching a lot of shows and there's been a lot of discussion about what's going on in Michigan, what's going on with the SEC, what's going on with NIL, what's going on with the transfer portal, and of course, what's going on with the Notre Dame Fighting Irish as it relates to them deciding not to take a bold bid this season and their protest against not making it to the college football playoffs. Welcome to another show here today of what's happening in college football. I got a lot of questions that people have been asking me that I wanted to get on the show and talk about. So I'm here now. I'm going to try to get through all of these questions that we have. I think there's about 8 to 10 questions that I've been receiving. So let's go ahead and jump into those right now. And if you're in the chat, go ahead, hit that like button, subscribe, hit the notification button so that you can get notifications anytime we go live. And also share our videos with your friends and family members. And if you're in the chat and you got some questions that you want me to entertain or any of us that might join this show, go ahead and put those questions in the chat. But let's go ahead and jump right into it. My man Mossberg of Level Up Sports 10 wants to know, what's your thoughts on Coach Biff Poggi's statements about Michigan and the state of their program? Really good question, Mossberg. If any of you had a chance to check out his interview on one of those Texas channels that primarily talks about Texas football, he got on there and he talked a little bit about what's going on at the Michigan program as it relates to the players, some of the things that have been happening behind the scenes over the past 5 years. And he was really, really transparent in his opinion that he gave. So if you get a chance to look up that interview that he did, I think he might have did it on the Stampede with Mac Brown and Vince Young and another gentleman who does that podcast. Go back and check it out, man, because I think he was really, really transparent about the state of the Michigan program and the direction that he would like to see it go. But as far as my opinion is concerned, I like the fact that he was very transparent. He was giving his honest opinion about what has been happening at that Michigan program for the last 5 years. He showed that he was not in favor of some of the stuff that was happening. And a lot of times, people will look at a coach and say, well, you were part of that program, or why didn't you have something to say? He actually was not a part of that program because he, of course, was the coach at Charlotte, I believe, and they ended up going like 6-16 or something over the past 2 or 3 years. And then he ended up at Michigan under Sharon Moore. But he was talking about the state of that program and the fact that they have players that on that team who their family are looking for, NIL deal going into the next season, and they can't necessarily get an NIL deal now because they don't have a coach in place right now to be able to come up with those deals for those players, which really put their 2026 players who they just got in the transfer portal. I mean, not the transfer portal, but in early signing period, really put them in a bad position because those players came with the thought that Sharon Moore was going to be there, and they will already have their NIL package either being worked on right now or already have being done by now, and that's not the case, which is not good for a program the caliber of Michigan when you got these players waiting in limbo, you got these families waiting in limbo, and you also have all of these teams out here who would like to get some of those players on their roster during the early period when players can come in January. So that really put Michigan in a bad spot. I think it's a situation where Michigan knew a lot of this stuff was going on and they didn't get out front of it. out in front of it fast enough. Maybe it was a situation where they were more concerned about winning and making it to the national championship and those things, and not really taking care of some things in house. And I think that the fact that he understands that there needs to be a clean slate for Michigan going forward. Anybody who was related to or had anything to do with the past 5 years under Jim Harbaugh, and part of that being up under Sharon Moore, should probably leave the program and possibly go find them some jobs elsewhere, because it should be a clean slate for Michigan going forward. But they need to put somebody in place really, really fast. Do I think that Poggi should be the coach going forward for them? I don't. What I do think though is he might be the right man for the job right now, but in the long term, he is probably not the right person for the job, because he probably got a little bit of stains on his hands as well, because he's been in that program for at least a year. And hopefully they'll go ahead and get that thing rectified and get them a coach in there sooner than later. Now, I think what's probably holding up them getting a coach is probably a coach that's either coaching in the college football playoffs or coaching his team going into a bowl game. That's the reason why Michigan has not hired a coach yet, because I think they got a short list of guys that they want, and I believe that Kellen DeBoer is probably at the top of that list. But I think that Michigan really needs to go ahead, get out in front of this thing, much like they did with the situation with trying to go ahead and give Sharon Moore suspension early in the season, so that he wouldn't get such a stiff penalty once all the findings came out from the sign stealing scandal. But Michigan is one of the top programs in the country, and I'm quite sure that they're going to make the right choice and make the right decisions going forward. I just hope they do it sooner better than later, so that they can try to salvage some of the players that they have on their roster right now, and definitely some of the recruits that they brought in, because there are some teams out there that is definitely looking to try to get some of them players to flip from Michigan and come to their program. And I believe there's probably 2 or 3 on that roster that Texas is definitely looking at. They're definitely looking at Malachi Lee, the offensive tackle that's signed with Michigan. And I think they should be allowed to be released from their national letter of intent. Once it's all said and done, they should not be held to that national letter of intent with all that's going on in that program at Michigan. Our man Postgame of the Postgame 86 podcast is asking, how hard should Michigan go after Kellen DeBoer, the Alabama coach? I'm gonna say this right now, man. If I'm Michigan and I am the president, the AD at Michigan, I am going to force Kellen DeBoer to tell me no. I'm going to give him a figure that is extremely high, to the point where he's just going to have to say, no, I don't want to come and be the new head coach at Michigan, which will make it very difficult for him to do, because I feel like, in my mind, just the way his 2 years have gone at Alabama, the way their fans are, the way their fans have been spoiled by Nick Saban, I believe that Kellen DeBoer wants to get out of Alabama. I think that going into that, he knew it was a really good job. He was going to have really, really good talent, to be able to get much more talent than he had at Washington. But of course, the SEC is a much tougher conference than what he played against in the Pac-12. So I think that they should make him an offer that is going to be hard for him to refuse, but he's going to have to tell Michigan no. And I think that that's what they should do. I think they really should throw a figure at him that is so high that, he's going to have to take it. Will he take it? I believe he will. I believe he wants out of Alabama. in my opinion. And I think that might be the holdup on why Michigan has not hired a coach yet. Um, Even though there are some really viable coaches out there right now, many of them who are still playing either in the college football playoffs or in bowl games, and they just have not been able to, make that commitment yet. But I think they should really give Kellen DeBoer a serious offer and force him to have to tell them no. I would also do the same thing with Freeman at Notre Dame. I would have to give him an offer that he either can't refuse or he's gonna have to tell me no. But I will definitely offer it to him, and I think that's how they should approach this thing, to go after some of the bigger names in college football, especially since Michigan has been dealing with this turmoil for a little over 3, 4, probably even 5 years, and it wasn't no secret within the Michigan organization of what's been going on there. So I would definitely go after him hard. My man SEC Sean of the SEC podcast wants to know, DeAndre Moore has decided to hit the portal over going to the NFL. How do you feel about him leaving Texas? Man, I'm a really huge DeAndre Moore fan. I really, really like DeAndre Moore. The thing I like most about DeAndre Moore is he understood that it was going to be his opportunity to play the slot receiver at Texas, and he took on the mindset that our man Jordan Whittington took on the 2 years prior to that. I'm probably not going to get a whole lot of receptions because of the guys that are on the outside around me. But what I am going to do is I'm going to be one of those wide receivers who going to put his nose to the grind. I'm going to get in there. I'm going to block hard on these screen plays. I'm going to block hard on these run plays. And I'm going to find my niche there by being a really good blocking wide receiver, and then take advantage of my opportunities to catch the football when they come to me. Last year, he dealt with a little bit of injuries. Even going into this year, he dealt with some injuries, and he had a much better season last year than he had this year once he got healthy. This year, the issue with him was he didn't get an opportunity to get in the rhythm because Arch Manning was a little bit off during the beginning of the season, and he missed DeAndre Moore on a lot of opportunities in the first maybe 4 or 5 games, which really would have helped DeAndre Moore stat-wise, so that the NFL and other even teams that are looking for in the portal for a wide receiver, they would have been able to see a much better film on him had he been able to get some of those receptions, which he was not able to do. I think his grade for the NFL is a late round draft pick, a mid to late round draft pick at the wide receiver position. He doesn't have the greatest of top end speed, but he is fast enough. He has his hands are pretty decent. He dropped some balls this year that normally you will see him catch, and he dropped some balls last year that he needs to catch. So I think those two things really hurt him. How do I feel about him going to another team? To be honest with you, I don't like it. But I want that man to be able to make the best decision for his well-being, his life, his family. And if it's going to be going into the portal to have another year, to add some more stats, to work on his hands, to continue to block the way he's been blocking and make some noise on another team, I'm all for that. And I'm excited that he's going to get an opportunity to transfer somewhere else and play some really, really, really good football. So good luck to him. Well, I ain't gonna say good luck because I don't think he's gonna need luck. I think he's a really, really talented and skilled player. So I think he's gonna be fine wherever he end up landing, wherever he decides to go, or him and his agent work out with whatever team. Let's welcome my man T1 to the podcast. How you feeling, T1?
What it do, my brother? I'm just still trying to get back to 100. That's about it.
Oh yeah. Well, it's good to see you on the show. I had a question earlier that I would like to get your input. Well, actually, a couple of questions that I would like to get your input on. The first one is, I don't know if you was able to either watch or hear about the interview with Biff Poggi, Michigan's interim coach, and the state of that program right now, and what's going on with some of those players, and how they feel about the fact that they can't get a deal in place NIL-wise because they don't have a head coach in place yet. Because they haven't.
What school is that, bro?
This is Michigan.
Oh. Now, okay, run that back, cause I ain't like I say, I've been down for the past. I've been down for a minute, so I'm kind of like I'm out the loop just a little bit though.
Yeah. So earlier today, he had an interview that he did with another Texas podcast as it related to the game coming up in the bowl game between them and Texas. But some questions was asked about the state of the program at Michigan, and he was saying that there's players on the team and their families who are really kind of upset at the fact that, Michigan knew all of this stuff was going on, and they knew that there was a possible chance that they was going to fire Sharon Moore, but they still had these players come sign their national letter of intent, but they're not in a position to sign any NIL deals. Players who have been on the roster and the new ones coming in. So he was real transparent about the state of how ugly it's been at the University of Michigan. Do you have anything you want to add about his statements or what you think might be going on at the state of at the University of Michigan?
I just think for one that they really, really did them young student athletes dirty. I mean, they knew what was happening, but of course, you want to say the university got to look out for the university still, because I mean, if they do come out and say, "Hey, we firing our coach," National Signing Day is next week, you're not signing those players. You're not signing those players. So, but it still, once again, it would be interesting to know if they went to them players behind closed doors and let them know, okay, let's hear. This is what's going on. This is what's taking place. I'm going to give you a heads up. And now if that happened and those players still decide to sign with the school, cool beans. But, if y'all just let these players out in the dark and didn't let them know that we have a whole new transition coming up, which is very, very important when you're choosing where you're about to go to school at. So, man, I think it's a real bad look for the University of Michigan. Do I want to see that program fall? I don't, but it's just a bad look for them right now, and they really have just been spiraling in the wrong direction here in these past 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I know you talked a lot about how that program has just really been kind of messed up, kind of trash. And I think now, just listening to Bill Poggi and some of the statements he made, he really shed a lot of light on, because I thought it was just maybe a small thing, man, but it's pretty big.
Oh no, it's huge.
It's huge. Yeah, you're right. It's huge, bro.
It's huge because now you're really, because you best believe all of these players had options. You know what I mean? All of these players had options to go elsewhere. They didn't have to choose to go to Michigan. They could have chose to go elsewhere, and Michigan did what I probably would say 99.9% of the programs would do when they covered their tails and they looked out for their investment still.
Yeah. Do you think
so I can't sit up here and say if I was the AD or whoever in that program that I would not have done the same thing. Although I am real high on loyalty and honesty and letting people know up front what it is.
Yeah, I agree with that too. Do you think that the University of Michigan is going to play hardball when it comes to allowing these students to be released from their national letter of intent?
They shouldn't. I mean, fair is fair, and I don't think that they can play hardball because of the clause that's out there. If you do have a coaching change, if you have a coaching change, you're able to get up out of there 5 days after they hire a new coach.
The thing that I don't want to see happen, man, is those years that Michigan was down under Rich Rod and whoever else was during that time. It just was not good for college football, man, to see Michigan down. Just like it wasn't good to see Texas down during the time period they were down, Alabama down during the time period they were down. You want those teams, those blue bloods, to be up. So I'm just hoping that is not the case for Michigan going forward. Hopefully they can rebound from all of this, man, and still be competitive in college football, man.
Just to be honest, though, bro, I mean, it's looking bad for that program. They really have a whole lot of stuff going on that is not positive. Just even outside of the coach and his affair and / scandal, whatever you want to call it. I don't know if you heard, but they got paperwork with Blake Corum and Connor Stallions. They were in business together and owned some type of vacuum cleaning company, which is a violation. So I don't know if you heard that part. Then you got the one staffer who was spying on students' phones and getting sensitive picture information. And I mean, they just have a whole lot of stuff going on up there. And it's like, it's just like, wow. Like, what's really, really going on up there? I mean, of course, nobody wants to. We still want to compete with them dudes every single year, but it just seems like they have just been up there running amok.
Yeah. How hard do you think Michigan should go after Kellen DeBoer, the Alabama head coach?
I don't think he wants out. I think, and this is definitely just a personal opinion, that job isn't looking at as good as it did 3-4 years ago. That job was once, one of the most prestigious jobs in all of college football. And now it's like, if you take this job, you don't even know what's about to come after that.
Yeah, that's true.
There's so much stuff going on. Like you don't know what's going. So who actually would want to go and take this job?
Well, I'm quite sure there's somebody out there that want to try to clean that thing up, man. And I don't know who wants to be the custodian or the janitor that's going to do that, but somebody is going to want to try to clean that thing up, man. Hopefully they find somebody that can do it, man, because it's a lot to clean up, bro. It's a lot to clean up.
Yeah, and that's my concern, and it's definitely it's going to take somebody that really it's almost like you have to go in knowing that, okay, this is about to be a ride. It's about to be a ride. Ain't no telling what can happen. I mean, you don't know what, and the way it's been going, you don't know what's next.
Yeah, that is true.
You don't know what's coming next with them. Because the Blake Corum and Connor Stallions thing is new to me. I guess that just came out just a week ago. Like, they showed the paperwork and everything, and both of their names is on the paperwork as owning a company, which is a complete violation.
Yeah. Well, let's answer this question from our man Parlay Poe of the Blitzburg Podcast. And it's one of your favorite topics of all times because you hit on this topic quite a bit. What's your opinion on Notre Dame's decision to skip the bowl, and do you think that can hurt Notre Dame in the future?
If I was on the committee, absolutely. I mean, you're already not in the conference, and then you're going to come and make your own independent decision and say, we're not going to include ourselves in your bowl game since you left us out of the playoffs. That is like, I've seen a couple podcasts, and the question is really starting to be like, who is Notre Dame and why do we have to cater to you? Everybody else in college football is in the conference. Why are we catering to you? What do you bring to the table for college football? If you were to not be out here and not be on anybody's rosters or whatever, whatnot, how does that affect college football? And it doesn't. It doesn't. All Notre Dame is just taking up space for somebody who's putting in the work as a conference member. And then to back out of a bowl game, that's crazy. If I was on the committee, I might will put you on the bowl ban. Like, guess what? All right. Well, guess what? You won't be in one next year either. Whether it be a playoff or a bowl game, you won't be here. Since you think you can just do whatever it is you want to do, go and do whatever it is you want to do. Sorry, post game, but you got pretty much the only independent in the world outside the Army and Navy.
Yeah, I know when I initially seen Notre Dame do it, I understood what message they were trying to send, because the committee had Miami behind them, all these different rankings, all these different weeks until the final one. Then all of a sudden you claim head to head and you put them ahead of them. I understood they was.
But it don't matter. Did Miami beat Notre Dame?
Yeah, they did.
So none of that, like, even that is like you crying over spoiled milk to me. Like, they beat you. I don't care if everybody knows the rankings mean nothing until that final rankings. That's what everybody talks about all throughout the season. Who cares where you're ranked at here or there? Doesn't matter. And if it came down to either you or this team that beat you, how in the world are you thinking that you're going to get in? Other than you're Notre Dame. You're big, bad, mighty Notre Dame that hasn't won a national championship since sometime in the 80s, I think.
Yeah.
Not a Heisman Trophy winner, not nothing. Y'all are just a rich Catholic school. Or whatever type of school y'all are. You're just a rich school walking around with y'all's nose up in the air as if y'all better than everybody that's in the conference.
Yeah, I think that I think in this situation, man, and I think they were trying to make their statement that they were trying to make. I don't know if this statement that they tried to make by not going to a bowl game is actually going to work in their benefit. I think it angered some folks who are saying, just like you're saying, who do you think you are? You're not even in a conference. You got beat head to head. Okay, yeah. What if they would have put Miami ahead of you a long time ago and not waited till the last one? The reality is they beat you head to head, and they probably deserve to be there because of that, even though it was early in the season. My thing is, I hate the fact that it looks like it's hurting the student athletes more, because they could have got an additional 15 practices, got a chance to play in a meaningful bowl game against somebody, to get some additional work to go into the 2026 season. Now you don't get that. You don't get those 15 practices. That hurts the players that's on your team that you were trying
to. Yeah.
And so when it came to that, I was like, oh yeah, okay, you're doing this to make a statement, but at the same time, you're hurting the people who should be benefiting from the fact that they go to Notre Dame the most, and that's the players.
Yeah, I was extremely disappointed with Notre Dame's decision to do that, and because I don't like many college teams. I'm a Buckeye just through and through, but I kind of like Notre Dame a little bit. But here, as of lately, their arrogance is kind of throwing me off a little bit.
Yeah.
Hold on just a second, bro.
All right. Let's look at our next question from our man Mossberg of Level Up Sports 10. With only one portal window, will we see more tampering or agents shopping their player at the first sign of dissatisfaction? I mean, as far as tampering goes, I mean, we know that anytime you're dealing with a player's agent, it's not considered tampering. That's just the lay of the land right now. That's just the way things go. So as far as tampering is concerned, I wouldn't say it would be tampering. But I believe that agents will definitely probably start shopping their players a little sooner than what they normally would because of the fact that there's only one window now. And you won't get a second opportunity to try to get your player on another team with some more money or possible chance to get some better playing time at another place. I definitely think that that's going to happen at the first sign of dissatisfaction. I'm quite sure family members and players are going to probably go to their agent and say, listen, this thing isn't working out right here. See who out there might be interested in the skill set that I have and try to get me somewhere as soon as possible or shop me to as many people as possible. I think there's a real possibility that might happen. What's your thoughts, T1?
Yeah. I mean, and now until they do something about the portal, it is what it is. It is what it is, and ASAP, make it happen as soon as possible.
Yeah, I agree. Something needs to happen like ASAP, Jack, for real, man, because we've already seen enough of a sample size to know that there are some things that need to be put in place. Now, can you overhaul everything? No, there's not a big enough sample size to overhaul everything, but there is enough of a sample size to understand and listen, certain things need to be changed because there should, like y'all was saying the other day, there should probably only be one transfer without any penalty. If you go twice, you got to have some sort of penalty, whether it's sitting out a year or a number of games. Something needs to happen where you can't just keep on jumping in and out the portal willy-nilly as much as you want to. I don't think that's cool.
The world.
Our man, post game 86.
I don't know. I just put a Wi-Fi picked up. Hear me, bro?
Yeah, I can hear you. What bowl games are you really looking forward to during this bowl season outside of the college football playoff games? I know for me, I'm looking forward to the Georgia Tech BYU game. I really want to see how that game goes with those two teams who were very, very close to making it to the college football.
We'll even try to come back.
Okay. So I'm very interested to see that game against Georgia Tech and BYU because, like I said, they were really, really close to making it to the college football playoffs. I want to see my man Haynes King for at least one more time. I'm not sure if he has any more eligibility left, but he's such a dynamic player, and he's been so good for the last 3 or 4 years, man, that I want to get an opportunity to see him one more time. A really, really tough player, got a lot of heart, man, a lot of grit. I'm looking forward to that game. And I'm also looking forward to the Iowa-Vanderbilt game. An Iowa team that plays really, really good defense against a Vanderbilt team and Diego Pavia who plays really, really good offense. I'm looking forward to those two matchups, man. Vanderbilt's offense against Iowa's defense, and, of course, Georgia Tech and BYU. Are there any games outside of the college football playoff game, bowl games, that you're looking forward to?
Outside of my game?
Yeah, outside of your game.
I'm really looking forward to all of the playoff games, man. I ain't so I ain't too much interested in all the other bowl games because I don't know who
Yeah, you breaking up a little bit,
pressing to
but
see if like I would like that I would like for everybody to be playing in that Texas and Michigan game. I would like that.
yeah,
I think that would be a pretty good game if everybody was playing, but I already seen that other players.
yeah,
And
yeah.
I thought that number one probably would have been suspended for the bowl game anyway for his head, but with the official, never heard much more from that either though.
Yeah, I would have thought that at least somebody from the Big Ten would have came down with some kind of ruling, some kind of punishment, or something about that headbutt, man. That, that's another thing that concerns me about some of the stuff that takes place, man. Is you've seen that this happen, and we should have heard something as it relates to that incident, man, because that was definitely uncalled for. It wasn't cool. It was not cool.
I just wanna know what university out here can have a player do such a thing without getting penalized.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know what I mean? He didn't even get thrown out the game. Like,
yeah.
like it's just weird and it just makes me like, goodness gracious. But either the head man of the NCAA is a Michigan man, or Michigan just has all of these billionaires behind them and they can pay to get out of anything. So
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but I can't think of another program right now in college football or college sports with as much baggage as these Wolverines have had within the past few years. I
I'm,
can't think of not one.
I mean, even in the past, we all played sports, man. Our coach would have been like, "Get your A on this
Oh
sideline.
yeah.
Done."
Man, you not even. They didn't throw you out. That's making the university look.
As the coach, I'm throwing
If
you
I'm
out.
not mistaken, yeah, if I'm not mistaken, that's what they said that Sharon Moore did. He made the university look bad, and I don't know how striking an official doesn't make your university look bad.
Yeah, yeah. Let's welcome my man Post Game for the Post Game 86 podcast to the show. How you feeling, Post Game?
Man, I'm chilling, man. All partied out. Just a bunch of alcohol and the Grinch. That's all. What's
I
up?
know,
What
I
it
know
do,
that's
post
right.
game?
How many slices of cake did you eat?
We ain't had we ain't had no cake.
Oh, okay.
So dang, so you just saying just strictly alcohol and food?
That's it. They
Sound like
they
a
they
waste.
won't they want me to party some more. I'm saying I'm cool.
Let me ask you this. You being a Notre Dame fan, and we talked earlier about the decision that they made not to go into a bowl game. As a Notre Dame fan, how did you feel about that? And would that be the decision you would make after seeing how some of the people have said some negative comments about Notre Dame taking that kind of a stance?
I mean, I'm cool with it because guess what? ESPN thought they was gonna use us to run that bag up, and we said, nah, we cool, we good, we gonna sit this one out. And like I don't think Notre Dame will do this like next year, but the kind of team they had, if you think about it, we all know this was Jeremiah Love's last season, as well as our backup running back, both of them going to the NFL. And they felt like the carpet was pulled from under them. It's not like they were on the borderline trying to get in. every single show they were in. And then for them at the last minute to put them out, I think that was kind of suspect. But I'm happy Notre Dame declined the bowl because they cost the same people who didn't put them in the playoffs money. So there's our give back. People gonna call it whining and all this, but hey, anybody can decline or accept. We don't have to play in a bowl. They were looking forward to playing for a national championship. What we playing for a bowl for? That's just how I see it, man. It's like, they could have went to a bowl game. Yeah, I wouldn't have mind seeing them play. Jeremiah Love, that's must see TV. But he wouldn't have even played in the bowl. So it's like, and the decision was made by the players. The players felt like it wasn't that's one thing people get twisted. It wasn't the administration or Marcus Freeman. They let the players decide if they wanted to play in a bowl or not. The players said, no, we'd rather sit this one out. So it is what it is.
Yeah, that's good information to have. I'm glad you was able to join the show so you can give us a different side of the side that myself and my man T1 had about that situation with them. Let me ask you this last question, then we'll go to our next question.
Let me ask Post Game something real quick, Rob.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hey, Post, do you think that pulling out of the bowl game will affect Notre Dame in any type of way?
Will it affect
in any type of way in the future? With now, there's just been a whole lot of discussion amongst other conference teams about, Notre Dame and their independence.
I mean, you always gonna get that. I mean, you got the Big 12. The coach from Texas Tech was just talking crazy about Notre Dame. But here's the thing: the Big 12 was talking crazy about Notre Dame. Notre Dame said, "Okay, we're gonna go holler at your chick BYU behind your back, and we just scheduled a home and away with or a home and home with BYU." So I mean, I don't think it's going to affect Notre Dame because let me tell you why, Ty. We doing business with the SEC. We doing business with the Big Ten. We doing business with the Big 12. We already got teams scheduled for the next few years. So affecting them as far as scheduling, no, I don't think it's going to affect them. Are people going to be mad? Naturally.
Yeah. What's your thoughts on, with only one portal window, will we see more tampering or agents probably shopping their players a little bit early at the first sign of dissatisfaction?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. It's going to be a lot of that. I don't care how many guardrails you put in place as far as tampering goes. They're going to figure out a way to tamper. That's for sure.
Yeah. All right, y'all. So let's look at this next question from our man, SEC Sean. He said, what are you expecting out of Texas? Well, I guess this is a question for me. What are you expecting out of Texas in their bowl game? Will the defensive coordinator, Will Muschamp, have any input on the defense in this game? I mean, if y'all want to chime in on that, y'all can as well. I'll go ahead and start it off. Texas has like 7 or 8 players on defense who are not going to play in this game, who are starters. So what I'm looking forward to seeing is some of these other players who were in the 2 deep or who wasn't getting any time at all, getting an opportunity to play. The great thing is that the offensive line, who finished the last couple of games of the season, have all decided that they're going to play in this game so we can make sure that Arch Manning stays upright and doesn't get killed out there. So I think that's a good option. And I'm looking forward to seeing Dylan McCutcheon slide into that slot receiver position in place of DeAndre Moore. I want to see what that young man can do. He was like the 4th or fifth wide receiver to come into the game after the starters. So I'm anxious to see what that's going to look like as well. Um, we still, are waiting on some guys to make decisions on what they're going to do in terms of going to the NFL or coming back for another season. But I'm looking forward to seeing how the defense plays without those 7 key starters, and also what Dylan McCutcheon is going to do at that wide receiver position. Y'all got anything y'all want to add to that?
Texas versus Michigan.
Yep.
Yeah, where Parlay Poe at, man? This Texas versus Michigan, man. What's going on, man?
Yeah, I don't know. He probably somewhere chilling. Oh, you know what? He might be in Atlanta.
Oh, okay. I know what you go down there for. I get it.
Well, his youngest daughter down there, so he probably had to go spend some time with her for
Okay.
the holiday. For the holiday, yeah. Hey, because listen, I'm going to Atlanta Friday too, but I ain't going for the reason that they say people go there. I ain't going there for that. I'm just going to get away for a little vacation.
It's all good. Atlanta is beautiful, especially Marietta.
Yeah.
I know I've been to Marietta a little bit of Atlanta, but mostly Marietta is beautiful down there. I love it.
Is
But
Marietta close to Savannah?
I think it's close to Atlanta.
Oh, okay.
But as far as Texas and Michigan, man, that's gonna be something I'm looking forward to. Uh, I don't know how much of a game Michigan gonna give y'all. I don't know if they focused or not, given the situations they've been going through. But I believe Texas is gonna come ready to play.
Anything you want to add to that, T-Wall? T-Wall had to jump on. I also don't think Will Muschamp is going to have any input on that defense in this game, but what he will be doing is taking some really, really, really good notes on some of those players on the defense to see where they're going to fit best in his scheme. Are we going to move a guy from safety to maybe linebacker or closer to the line of scrimmage? Or are we going to move some linemen around from maybe being a 1 technique to maybe a 3 technique, or maybe a 3 technique to a 1 technique, or maybe a 3 technique all the way out to a 5 technique? We're going to get to see some of those things take place in this game. And I'm quite sure Will Muschamp is going to be taking some really, really good notes to find out what's going to go down with some of those players that he's going to have on that defense of unit next year. Our man Parlay Poe of the Blitzburg Podcast wants to know, what top 4 teams are on upset alert in the college football playoffs? Which one of those top 4 teams do you think is more likely to get upset?
Let's see. We got Indiana and Bama, Miami, Ohio State, Oregon, and Texas A&M.
Texas Tech.
Texas Tech. I'm sorry. Yeah, I think Texas Tech. Man. I mean, outside of BYU, who has Texas Tech played? I know they look good, and we all like Texas Tech. We like the team they got assembled, but they haven't been really battle tested, and I'm not sure about that. That makes me kind of worried with them having to play Oregon. Oregon got a great quarterback. They can run the ball. So I think Texas Tech, if I got to pick one of those 4, might be on upset alert the most.
Yeah, I like that pick as well. It's probably number 2 on my list. I for some reason I feel like Alabama is going to really give Indiana some troubles, man. I think that Alabama's going to be able to do some things defensively with the talent that they have on that defensive side of the ball to sort of slow down uh, the Heisman Trophy winner especially because he hasn't played all that great the last couple of games. Now he has made some key plays down the stretch, but statistically he hasn't played all that great. And I think that there's a lot of film out there on that team now to where Alabama can probably put some things together. Plus, that Alabama's not going to have the rust that possibly Indiana could have, being off for as long as they have. That would be my number one. But then, of course, Oregon and Texas Tech would be number two. I really don't see Miami giving Ohio State much of a battle, but I think it could be a really good game if Miami can run the football well against that Ohio State defense to keep that offense on the sideline. And then, of course, Ole Miss at Georgia. The way Georgia's defense has been playing lately, I think they're going to have the answers that they need, especially if Lacey can't go in that game because I think he went out late in that game with an injury. He may be back though. It may not have been as serious as I thought. Or he may be able to get back by that time they play that game in another week or so. So I would go with Alabama, even though I was not high on Alabama coming in the college football playoffs. But I think they could possibly knock off Indiana, the number one team, uh, going forward. Yeah,
I can see that because like we always say on here, styles make fights.
I'll make
And
fights.
one thing about Indiana, I believe they lost their star defensive end, didn't they? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's gonna hurt, man. You got to be able to get after Alabama in that passing attack.
yeah. Ty Simpson really showed some poise in that last game against Oklahoma. So maybe he can do the same thing against this Indiana team that's going to try to bring some pressure and keep him from being able to just be back there setting his feet, throwing the ball all over the place. Let me ask you this because you came on a little bit late in the show. Uh, how hard should Michigan go after Alabama coach Kellen DeBoer?
I think they should go after him hard, but it's probably going to be hard to get him away from Tuscaloosa, especially if they upset Indiana. They make a deep run in the playoffs. I don't think the board is going to go anywhere. Now, if they would have lost to Oklahoma or not made the playoffs, perfect opportunity to steal them away. But as of right now, I don't think they're gonna get the board, man. I think they should look at what's the guy from Utah, Whittingham.
Whittingham, yeah,
I think they should look at Whittingham or one of these hot shot offensive coordinators. Definitely don't look at Brian Kelly. I'm telling you now. You
yeah, yeah,
go be looking for another coach in the year or two. So they should go after Whittingham or what's the guy from Louisville, Braun,
Oh, Brown, I like Brown. I like
which
Brown.
is
That
it's gonna be hard to get him away from Louisville because man, they basically him and his brothers basically own that team. But if I'm them, I'm not messing with DeBoer. He not gonna excuse me, he not gonna leave Alabama, especially if they make a deep run. Now, if you can get them, but I highly doubt it. I think they should go for Winningham or Braun. Those would be my guys if I'm Michigan.
yeah. I don't know if you've heard anything as it relates to Ryan Williams, the wide receiver for Alabama, but he didn't play a whole lot in that last game. I don't know if he's injured or what the case may be. What do you think his future is like in Alabama?
Oh, Rob, I'm glad you mentioned that because I feel like Ryan Williams is out of there. I think he's going to transfer. I don't know what it is, but he just he hasn't had the kind of impact that I think we all were expecting, given his talent in the season he had last year. I don't know what it is. They do have a lot of receivers out there. I know he's really talented. We all know he's talented, but I don't think Ryan Williams is going to stay there. I think he's going to hit the portal as soon as he get the opportunity. It's like too many chefs in the kitchen, and I don't know. He might. We don't know what's going on behind the scenes is a thing too. He may be into it with the board or his wide receiver coach or his offensive coordinator. We don't know. Stuff like that happens all the time. But Ryan Williams, way too talented not to be utilized down there in that passing attack. So I think he's going to transfer, Rob.
Yeah, I'm thinking like you are. I'm thinking that he's going to transfer as well. I don't think he's going to stay there at Alabama, and I think that the writing might be on the wall based on what we saw in that last game. And maybe he's injured. I don't know everything behind the scenes of what's going on, but I do know that he wasn't on that field much in that game. And the one catch that I think he did get, he didn't get much out of it. And I think that he's probably going to leave Alabama at the end of the season, or when the time comes for him to be able to hit the portal. I think if they make a run in this college football playoffs, he still has a little bit of time before he has to announce it. But if they were to lose to Indiana, I would not be surprised if he hit the portal right after they lost that game, if they lose to Indiana. Let's welcome our man T1 back to the show. T1, we were just talking about Ryan Williams, the wide receiver out of Alabama. We feel like he might hit the portal because of the season he just had at Alabama. What's your thoughts on Ryan Williams, or do you got any thoughts on him?
Is that him and Jeremiah like each other a little bit? If he do hit the portal, I wouldn't even be mad if he came up north, man, and all of that.
Now that there would be scary.
That would be scary. I would like to see him definitely get in that weight room and put on a little bit more armor because he's kind of slight of build. And I don't think it's going to affect his speed too much if he decides to go ahead and put on a little bit more armor. And he definitely has to work on his focus with his hand-eye coordination because he dropped some balls that he definitely should not be dropping. The caliber of wide receiver that he is, sometimes he just doesn't look like a natural catcher of the football, and you don't expect that from such a talented wide receiver as Ryan Williams is. So hopefully, he can get those two things corrected. In my opinion, I think put some armor on and get your hands right so that you can go ahead and get ready for that next level.
Yeah, hey, like, look, I don't know if y'all remember that post game. I don't know if y'all remember last year that they was my fault. Where you at, bro? Can you give me a light back here so I can try to finish up in this podcast?
Like where?
Back here. All right. Yeah, but like they was talking about teaming up last year.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody heard about it or not, but I wouldn't mind that. And I think that might will be his destination one.
Oh shit.
Because you would have to think that he has some type of, at least even a little small relationship with Sane. And we already know how him and Smith get down.
Yeah.
So that would be very interesting.
That's very possible. If KJ Lacey was a starting quarterback at Texas next year, they would have an opportunity too. That was his high school quarterback in Alabama. So if he was starting next year, that would be a possibility too. But I don't think he'll come to Texas over Ohio State.
Right. What would be a perfect destination for him?
Ohio State would be the perfect destination for him.
Yeah,
I agree. I just didn't want to be the one to say it.
Yeah, the Ohio State would be destination one. I think Texas would be destination two.
Yeah, definitely. Anything else y'all want to talk about before we wrap up? We're coming right up on 1 hour, and that's about how long we usually want to go. Anything else y'all want to add?
Man, I'm just ready for these playoffs to get started, man. Like I said, I'm like as much complaining we did about the teams picked for the playoffs. I just believe that this final 8 you can't get no better than that.
Yeah, it's a definitely a good bracket, man, and I'm looking forward to it as well. Um, no, man, I just want to say thank y'all for rocking with us. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channels,
Yeah, somebody
enjoy your holidays.
That's right.
All right, y'all. Appreciate y'all jumping in with me this evening, man, on such short notice. Y'all enjoy the rest of y'all's evening. Catch that.
really just being players, though, for real.
Hey, that's all we got to watch. That's right. I love y'all, fellas. I love y'all. Y'all know the building. We was in the building. Now we up out of here. WTP Sports Dudes. We love y'all. Peace, fellas. Happy holidays.
Yeah, love you too, bro. All right, y'all.